Hello friends, if you are following the channel, which you totes should, you've probably seen me do a couple of cover gigs, because that's something that I do. So I thought it would be interesting to show you my current rig, because this is YouTube and I do the music, and that's something that people that do the music do. So this is it, in its most condensed form. We'll get it all out and I'll show you. The only thing that isn't here that I do use is the microphone stand that I'm using to record this now. It is a Hercules stand with, well, I guess let's start there because that's where we're starting. I have a Shure SM58, standard, industry standard. You can probably see at this point, I need to clean the bugger. But it's dented because she's had a few falls. I've had to resolder the wires in it once or twice because it was crackling. But other than that, I've had this particular mic for over a decade. 11 years, same mic, still going. I don't think it's been cleaned in that time. Eesh. But yeah, so that's great. Into, yeah, the little thing that it comes with. I bought new leads recently because I had a couple of crackly sessions at gigs and I thought, right, let's start with the obvious and start with new leads. So I've got a bunch of leads. This one's from Thomann, yellow ones because they stand out in the dark, and most people have black ones. So if there's any sort of, hey, that's my lead, is it? It's bright yellow. Microphone stand, mics, plural, no, one mic. Let's get to the juicy stuff, shall we? So I have my mono bag, which again, I haven't had as long, but has done a fair few miles now. I've been busking with it. I haven't flown with it. I think I'll probably do hard cases with that, but it's incredible. They're not cheap, but they're not cheap for a reason, because they're good. I like having this one with the pouch on the front. I can't remember what model of this is, because I think they do a few different ones. This is the standard acoustic one, and it is held together a little bit by gaffer at this point, because I have loaded the thing with too much weight in the past. That puts a strain on her. But inside her, not like that, is my trusty number one. I could do, and I should do, a whole video on this baby. This is my LARRIVEE OM03 that I bought in 2012 when I lived and worked in London. I worked in a guitar shop called Wonjo Guitars on Denmark Street, and I had the ability, fortunately, in that shop to play all sorts of guitars. Really cheap ones, really expensive ones, both new and old, and we were stocking LARRIVEEs, and for the money it was brilliant. It did exactly what I needed it to do, what I needed in an acoustic. I was doing a lot of finger picking at the time, and it was good for that. Still is. I have had issues a little bit where it's a bit chunky, but I think I'm gripping too. I think that's my problem, not the guitar's problem. I use a feedback buster when I do my acoustic gigs because it has a LR Bags element pickup under the saddle. So when you're in a bar and it's loud, this is what's doing the work, and coming out of here isn't doing anything and can lead to feedback. So plug this baby in. Don't have any feedback issues. It does. I've had numerous sound guys when I've done original gigs tell me they really like the sound of this, which is lovely. So do I. One last little feature. I mean, I don't know if you can see at this point, but she's done. It's not coming out the way I'd like it, but there's some marks on her. She's done some miles. I played this on top of mountains, in smoky bars. They do exist out. They are still out there. On boats. Irish pubs, weddings, funerals, house parties, and I absolutely, it's my number one. Last little cheeky little feature about this before we move on is when I worked in the guitar shop, Mr. LARRIVEE himself was doing was over, and I got him to sign the back. Which is really nice, and there is a picture. If I'm any good at editing, I'll try and put this in, but there's a picture of him holding this guitar on the top floor of the shop at the time with all the cases, because he did an interview with Guitar Magazine and he held this, and you know it's this one because it's got a particular, you can't maybe see it, there's like a particular, you can see the bookend marks like the It's definitely this one, I swear. Oh, this is cool. That's a nice little feature. That doesn't come with the guitar. I was busking in the Gentefesting, in the Ghent Festival a few years back, and a mum came along with a little girl. They were all dressed, they were all hippie. It was lovely, and a little girl pushed this on, so I kept it on there. It's nice. It's nice. Guitar done. This is the kind of heart and soul of the rig that I have, because it's got two purposes for me. One is that I'm using it as kind of like a DI. I have had acoustic DIs. I do have the LR Bags Venue. I do have this, and I have gigged this a lot. It's very useful because it has a tuner on it and you can really dial in some really nice sounds with it. I haven't used it for a while for reasons. That is, when I'm traveling to gigs and when I'm playing the gigs, I want to have the minimal amount of gear that I can get away with the most amount of options. And this is wonderful, but it has no effects. And I'm not a big effects guy, but a little bit of verb and a little bit of delay and whatnot is nice. And a looper. So I'd have to carry around a big old pedal board. Not a big old pedal board, but it's just extra stuff that I don't necessarily want at this point. The FISHMAN, however, I use as a DI because plugging in this it sounds really nice for me. I know some people like the AERs, the phenomenal amps. I mean, they're good. They're worth this, but as the working musician I am, at the level I am at the moment, I can't afford that, and I can't afford for it to break and have to get another one. I bought this about a month ago, maybe less than a month ago, because the other one that I had, which I have had for close to a decade, that was secondhand when I bought it, finally stopped working. It didn't stop working. There was buzzes and fuzzes and sounds that weren't necessarily nice, and couldn't find the source of it. The reason why I haven't thrown it away is because it's not completely useless at this point, because one of the two reasons why I use this, it still works. So one of the reasons I use this is because it's a DI. So I plug in, it sounds great. I've got effects that are working. What are the effects? We have reverb and chorus, but then I can send that straight out to the PA, and I know I'm going to get a decent sound, because I also plug my vocals into this, because depending on where I'm playing, sometimes the sound systems aren't that great, or they don't have effects on the vocals, which I like a little bit of verb just to give it a bit more atmosphere. So this, I can go vocals and guitar into this, out the back, into their system, flat EQs, because I can do it all from here, and then just volume up. Very simple. I really, really like it for that reason. My other one that is broken. The DI out is fine. I plug in. Oh yeah. So I like it because I can DI it out, and I get a nice sound. But also, I use it as a monitor, because the amount of places I've played where there isn't monitors, or you're playing in a venue that isn't necessarily designed for music, but they have speakers for whatever, and you might not be able to hear yourself properly, or you don't know if you're too loud on the mic or whatever. So I use this as a monitor. My other FISHMAN, there's something going on with the speaker that means when I'm listening back to myself, it's crackly. If I'm going out the DI, it's fine. But so there's something going out. I've spent too much time talking about this amp now, but I really like it. Highly recommend it. It's light as well. This newer one is slightly lighter than the old one, so when it's light and it goes on this little thing, which I'll get to in a second, that helps. The only other thing that I use, so like I said, I don't like having too much pedals. I want one thing to kind of help me do it all. At the moment, I've got it plugged in. I hope it doesn't plug. I'm using my LINE6 PODGO because I can get an array of different effects in one thing. I don't have to have a multiple pedal board. I can have it all on here. Save settings. It has a looper on it as well, which is a solo cover gig I really like having. So on this particular one at the moment, I can't really show you because the light is a bit, yeah, that's what it looks like. I have a compressor, I have a delay, I have the glitz reverb. There's reverb going on the amp already, but this just makes it sound a bit more washier and nicer. And I have a looper. The downside to the PODGO is that the blocks are fixed. There's always going to be an effects loop that I don't use. The amp and cab sim I can't turn off, they're always there, and there is always an EQ pedal, which I don't necessarily use. So I'm limited with how many toys I can have, but that's okay at the moment. I use the volume pedal as well to my advantage, and has a wire on it as well. When you whack a wire on with an acoustic, it can be fun. It changes things up a bit. I do want to try and explore the HX Stomp, possibly the XL, to have a bit more toys. Then I can use that with my electric rig, and when I play guitar, electric guitar. This I don't necessarily use with my electric guitar. I want to have the small rig. I want to have something that I can use with everything, because I want to try and focus on the playing more than I've got to get that particular pedal because it's blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is really cool. Really like this, very handy. All of that, and I won't bother you with the leads because that's boring, but you know, there's a bunch of leads and power leads and stuff to go with it that fits in my pedal train box, so I can get the PODGO, all my power leads. I can get all that in here, which then all goes on to the sack barrow. I don't know what you'd call it. I got it from a hardware shop, and it's the best 60 euros I've ever invested in my music. The amount of times you carry stuff that sometimes you don't have to go far, but to have a guitar on your back and boxes and amps and stuff, oh god, it kills you. So to load it up on all there and just wheel it, I've got the blue rope, the tow rope, to kind of keep it all condensed so it doesn't fall off. That's why I'm very interested in having minimal gear, because I have to carry it in and out by myself. We also have, and this is probably the most important thing, we have tablet. A cheap little tablet. It's a Huawei. They probably don't even make these anymore. This has a program on it that I downloaded called Setlist Helper, I think it's called, with all of the songs on it that I play, because I've had books. Hats off to you if you can remember all, if you can play 3 45-minute sets with no prompts, lyrics, chord sheets, and then be able to, so if you can just do that, hats off to you, amazing. I can't do that because I forget my own words to my own songs. Check the video out. Also, because of the digital age that we're in, internet and linking up with hotspots and whatnot, if I often ask if anyone has any requests, if somebody does and I don't have it on here, but I kind of know the song, in a break, I'll find it. I'll put it on the set list, and then the next set I'll play it. So that's really handy for that, because I've had books before. That's another thing I've got to carry around, and the more and more songs you get, the heavier and heavier it gets. So this is very helpful. This goes with this eye clip. If it's on the microphone stand, I can put it in there. I find the angle of this sometimes a little bit difficult to read, but I get by. And then I have this AirTurn Ped Pro, and it's falling apart. Bluetooth to flick between songs or up and down the page of the song if the lyrics or the chords are, it's long, without having to stop and then scroll, because that's can ruin the flow and looks a bit sugary. So that's very helpful. These are key elements in it all. I think that's everything. We have guitar, we have the PODGO, the FISHMAN LOUDBOX Mini, the mic, SM58, microphone stand. Yeah, I think that's everything. That's my current rig at the moment. Let me know what your rig is in the comments. I'm not going to tell you where the comments are because this is 2024. This is YouTube. We all know where the comments are. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, follow, bell icon, all that mumbo jumbo. And see you soon. Thank you for watching.